Meology is simple. I'm very pleased to say that I've had a new Prove It Challenge person come on, and the funny thing is I offered the Meology Pick program or the to go with the Vitalizer, and she opted for Vitalizer. And in the meantime wanted 10 Vivits. So, you know, I'm looking for new people. I offered the Meology, and it's their choice of what we can bring them forward in. So let's not get too much into the minutia. Let's look at what's going to make it easy to talk to new people, to become new customers in our database. That's what I want to see happen for all of us. And then, of course, you know, I'm very pleased that my activities are looking towards new people. And I'd like to have you all share maybe some ideas that you've been doing that have proven that you're moving into some new people range. David, have you been reaching out to some new people?
Well, I did have a conversation with the one guy, and it turns out he just wanted to sell me on something that he thought he was going to do.
Quiet. Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. He had in mind, he already runs a limo service and then has a rideshare app, and he's trying to find ways of getting people to pay him for everything. Then he had some idea of finding a bunch of chefs or something like that who would put together food programs, and then he could sell them all the food and make money off the top of that for some kind of a weight loss program. And he wasn't really interested in listening to what I had to say because we weren't going out and trying to sell everybody all the food.
Next.
Yeah, exactly. He's gone.
Yeah, but you know, you're reaching out and having a conversation. No? And that's what we have to do. We have to realize that there will be those next people. Believe me, to get that picked person, it took 6 times in going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth in order to finally close her to do what I felt would be best for her. But at least you're reaching out to new people.
Sure.
Anybody else? Because if we looked, I have my computer sound on my main computer wasn't working, so I had to come in the den and put my laptop on. All my activity list is in the other room that I was going to report out on today, which is a lot of new stuff that I'm doing. I'm really trying to shake myself up. And Carolyn, wasn't it good on the OPA call when she said, you know, your comfort zone is the graveyard of your dreams?
I think that
I'm not in the graveyard.
That was a classic quote. That was a classic quote. That was great.
So, you know, we have to shake ourselves up with doing different things. And that's what I'm doing, even though it's really challenging me mentally to move forward. Who else wants to raise their hand and do some who they reached out to new?
I will, Joanne.
Okay, go ahead, Susie. We have Mary Beth and Super Schnicky, so great.
Yeah, I've been working with Bill. We've been talking almost every day. Should be on any minute, which has been really good. And then I had a referral from somebody at the tennis court, and I didn't want to leave it in her hands to have that girl call me. This girl works now in a place that I frequent, getting takeout foods. So I went in there and I introduced myself. We ended up talking like for 15 minutes last week. Found out a lot about her, gave her a little goodie package. She wanted the Myology. I texted to her, didn't hear from her. I went in today because I text her again on Saturday. I always contact within 48 hours. So I went in there today and it was fantastic. And it turned out she gave her samples away, so which was a good thing. So we had a talk. She's very much interested, very genuine, single mom. Has a voice with a lot in common. And since she had given her samples away, I went home. I was going out, so I went back out and brought it to her. And I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe I brought her new samples. She was so excited. So I expect to be getting together with her this, but that's another new one. And then I had somebody 5 levels down who placed a really big order. So I put in a call to her to introduce myself to her.
Great. Good work. Mary Beth.
Well, had a great week this week. The one lady, I actually went to high school with her and we've connected on Facebook, and she actually asked me You know, what do I do? She's a health coach, but a brand new one. It's okay.
Good.
Yeah, have a wonderful conversation on Monday. And we spoke today. We ran into some glitches with Meology, but very patient and understanding, and we'll get through them. And she goes, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to order, so don't worry. And I go, no, I'm not. And I appreciated her understanding. So just in the beginning phases of developing that friendship and also a business relationship. And then Shackley gave me a corporate lead, and I followed up with the lady, and it was, you know, I was a little debating. I mean, she ordered 8 containers of chewable vitamin C. And so I ended up having a conversation with her yesterday, and oh my gosh, she goes, I live in Russia for 9 months of the year, so I wanted to stock up before I went back to Russia. And she's
That's
from
good.
Michigan. And so we had a conversation about her son who's staying in Michigan, and he's a goalie on a hockey team. So, you know, that hockey mom
Wow.
common
Great.
in life. And so,
Now
yeah, just
remember tomorrow night we're showing Take a Look and on the possibilities that Pam will be presenting. So some of these new people, everybody, it'll be a great opportunity for you to invite them in. You create your own invite. Lauren's done a great job. I hope everybody looked at the email she sent out regarding these changes that we're doing with the Wednesdays. So please, I printed out. I don't know about your life, but mine is totally crazy. So you have to have it written down and available for you to see.
Can I
Let's
say
move
one
on.
thing about tomorrow night quickly? Just new people, if people want to know what you're doing, hey, if you want to see what I'm doing, come check it out.
Exactly, exactly. And you know, you do a little event invite that says it's a pop-up meeting. Now remember, so at 1:10 today, we're having Jennifer Cancio do a pop-up on Meology. And please remember that this is from 1:10 to 1:30 is new people. So watch what we say. If we've been around for a long time and people don't know our, you know, community and connection as longtime Shackley people, look at all this through the eyes as if you're a new person on learning something new. So let's keep our chit chat on questions in business like this from the time at 12:45 to like 1:05. So we don't bring in all this other stuff that might confuse the new person, because it's a pop-up Meology meeting. Questions can be asked more about, you know, what is Meology and how can I take my Meology assessment, etc. Sue, let's hear from you about the new people. This is exciting. I'm excited for all of you. It's great.
Well, the 2 people that I've been working with on Myology are actually follow-ups. They're people that have already been on some of the vitamins. But our friend Angelo has a number of health problems. And so he wanted to keep retaking the assessment a couple of times, 2-3 times. And he found out that there were just some, I think price was kind of an issue when he found out everything they needed. Plus he takes a lot of medications. But he texted me and he said, I think I know, I have a plan. So I called him and we talked for about an hour, and we talked about the supplements that would be good for him. And he came up with a plan, and he ended up putting in a pretty good order based upon what his ideas were, because he was having some reactions to some medications, and he wasn't sure if the strip was agreeing with him or not. But he says, I take it about every other day, and I think it's doing me a lot of good, he said. He said, I really feel a lot better since I've been on the vitamins. So I feel like
that's a perfect example of that. He did the Meology, but chose to get the bottles.
Yes, and he has become more interested in
Or he chose
Shackley.
to get the strip, you said.
Yes,
He chose to get the strip. Right.
Vitalizer strip.
He has gotten the strip, but I think he's going to probably go to the bottles, and then he's going to have the basic vitamins you need for Corona: zinc, C, I think the multi, obviously, and there was another one that he added in there. Anyway, he said that my wife needs to do the same thing. So he did that. And then my other friend, she took the Meology. We're going to follow up on it and kind of weigh the pros and cons of between the vitalizer strip and what her Myology assessment showed. But she's very interested in knowing if that's a good option or not.
Well, that's great service, both you and Susie and Mary Beth, you know, great follow-up and connection, and David for new people. You know, anybody else want to talk about the new people that they're getting into their customer base or in
I'd
conversation?
like to.
Bill? All right, we'll do Bill and then we'll do Jennifer. We have a few minutes. Bill?
Okay, well, I just started and I've been talking to Susie 24 hours a day.
And that's
And
good.
she's been helping me out, and corporate's been helping me out. And I've got, I placed 2 orders for samples for 2 people. I placed over $100 order this week.
Great.
My own order, but still
That's
it's an order.
okay. That's right.
And
That's where we have to start, Bill.
yes, I just started with Facebook, and I've got an Instagram account with nothing but Shakely on it, and I've got 12 people already signed up on that, so I'm starting to get on the online social media type thing.
Great. Good. You're out of your comfort zone and you're doing fabulous.
And he
Congratulations.
set up his office.
I also have lined up a show to do in a couple of weeks with
Good.
Susie at a market.
Great activity. Good going. Okay, Jennifer.
Oh, I just wanted to say, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone about the opportunity. And I've been looking at customers who love the product and have great experiences. So one in particular, she's lost a lot of weight. She feels great. Pre-diabetic conditions, other conditions have disappeared. And her doctor's like, I'm treating you as a new patient. She's like, I'm telling my friends, and so-and-so might be calling you, so-and-so might be calling you. And I said, any referral that results in an order, I'll give you $10 off your products. Oh, that's great. I said, you can get your products for free. Do you want to hear about it? So like looking at my excited customers, the ones who have referred me products, I offer them that $10 reward, for a reward and purchase. But looking at your customer base, for those of you and seeing people really excited, who doesn't want that extra $10? And for some who are thinking about this as an opportunity, I know she's wanting to make a career change. So I was just really excited because it was just very organic. I didn't have to call and rehearse and look at myself in the mirror and say something 10 times before asking. It just kind of happened, which is really the way it should be.
I think what happens is when we think new people, and that's what is, totally in my brain, it's new people, new people, new people. My mantra, they'll pop up, no pun intended, but they will pop up and they'll come on board with us, or they won't come on board with us. As I said, I worked hard for the 10 Vivek sale and a pick vitalizer new person for myself, and it took me at least 6 or 7 times to go back and forth to really get the person to realize that I was doing her a favor, and it was the gift that I was giving her in getting her as a new member. So we're close. We're 106. We'll see if new people come on board for the Meology. Jennifer, just share briefly about the fact that you did practice this with Tracy Doyen, who's another new first level builder that we have.
Oh, some of the feedback she gave me?
Yeah, and how it went. Well, we have 7. Let's save it for after your presentation.
Sure.
Scott, does Jennifer have a co-host connection to pull up her Meology?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I'll just share screen, right, when it's time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You can bring it up now so it's all well and prepared if you want.
Okay. So
I don't know about you, but I had my computer at the doctor's and got it back yesterday, and my sound's not working. So you never know when it decides it's not going to be working.
All right. You see it there?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So we'll look at the clock and we'll start on time. You'll be introducing yourself.
Great. Just say when.
Okay. But so this again, we're going to have someone that's going to volunteer to do it for next week. Does anybody want to speak up quickly, or we'll talk about it after? Mary Beth, what about you?
I was just going to say, I'll do it.
Yay.
Okay.
Hit unmute.
All right. So you'll be doing the Meology next Wednesday. Did anyone send out invites? I know I did. Did anyone send out an invite to their customer base?
I did.
Who was that?
Sue Perchnicki.
Okay, Sue, great.
I
I
did.
did it on Facebook. I did it via email. So hopefully I'll get somewhat of a turnout.
Good for you. That's
Great.
terrific. Congratulations. You know, all that effort, I believe, pays off. We may not see where it pays off immediately, but that is excellent leadership and an excellent do. I did send it out as well. We might need to make some phone calls or to see if people are going to be coming on board or thinking of those names that we really want to see join us. Because it really is the gift of Shackley, and it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's also important to make a phone call and invite people personally too, and not just leave it up to emails and social. Because people will, I found I did a Myology with two sisters together, and it was very personal. I got to know them a little bit more. The door is open for referrals, and it's just another level of connecting that goes beyond email.
Definitely. All right, Jennifer, it's all yours.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Cancio, and I'm a Shackley business leader in Vero Beach, Florida, and also a health and nutrition coach. So I'd like to thank all of you for being here. I'm extremely excited to talk about the Meology program. Super excited. So I'm glad you're here and you can spend some time with us today. So my screen won't move forward. Let's see if it works. Sorry, this is unexpected. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. So staying healthy, as you know, is more important today than it has ever been. And it's also important to stay healthy while taking into account your individual needs. So Meology delivers a product and a system that is made for you, not someone who's like you, who might look like you, but actually you. Meology is precisely tailored to meet your individual nutrition needs, help fill your nutrition gaps, meet your health goals. Your lifestyle takes into account your lifestyle and your family history, also your doctor's recommendations, your personal goals, and also your budget. So, how does personalized nutrition work? There's several different kinds of personalized nutrition programs out on the market. So it's important to be aware of the distinctions. So there's three kinds: a stratified approach, a tailored approach, and a precision-based approach. So you may have seen a stratified approach out there. So some companies have entered the personal nutrition industry with a stratified approach, meaning you just break people into groups: women under 50, women over 50, men versus women. It's usually an age distinction or a gender distinction. It really doesn't get much more specific. And as you know, you think about your age. I'm 51, so I'm in that over 50. Not all women my age in their 50s have the same health background as me or the same health concerns or goals. The stratified approach doesn't take care of that. The second approach out there is called a tailored approach. So it does get a little more specific, but this approach does not take into account any complex relationships between an individual, their eating habits, their behaviors, and lifestyle. So if you look here, you've got two women over 50 with a history of heart disease, and both sets of women are recommended 3 omega guards for, inflammation and to address heart disease. But it doesn't take into account how much fish are they eating. So enter the precision approach, and we'll keep that same example of the women. The precision approach is really what sets our Shaklee Meology program apart. It is the most sophisticated and robust way to assess you, your health history, your concerns, and deliver an approach to help you achieve your optimal health. So under the precision approach, and using this same example, you see these 2 women, they're over 50, they both have a history of heart disease, but the woman on top eats only 1 serving of fatty fish a day, and she's recommended 3 omega guards. The second woman, the woman on the bottom, is also over 50, has a history of heart disease in her family, but she eats 3 servings of fatty fish a week. So she's getting quite a bit in her diet, but the recommendation in this case is 1 omega guard. So the last thing we want to do is take too much of something, and we really are here to fill nutritional gaps, not OD on omega guard. So that's very personalized in my opinion. So Meology is more precise. We are really at the forefront of precise and personalized nutrition. Meology is more powerful than other programs out there. We are so powerful that the Myology Assessment has over 110 million possible recommendations, supplement recommendations, over 600,000 decision-making points to get to your final results. And in addition to that, in our algorithm and system that I'll explain in a moment, there are over 10 million unique texts, not like text on a phone, but wording phrases to explain why a particular supplement is recommended for you, not someone like you, but you. So to me, that makes us extremely powerful. Meology has more patents. Our algorithm and the research that went behind developing our algorithm for the Myology Assessment is so unique that Shaklee has filed a patent on it. And on top of the fact that the algorithm has patents, the products that are recommended, the supplements recommended, many of them also have their own patents. And it should be noted that this algorithm was developed with scientists and nutrition experts. And so there's a lot of research that went into this. Meology also has more proof. The products that are recommended, they work. They've got research showing that they work. Shaklee does not make a product that doesn't work. And we stand behind our products so much so that all of your products from Shaklee have a 100% money back guarantee. That's not easy these days, especially in the COVID days, trying to return something. So we have that. So how does Meology work? 3 simple steps, really. So I ask that, the person that invited you here, they should have or will at the end of this presentation provide you with a website where you can take your own assessment. So please ask the person that invited you here. So here is an example of how it would look on your phone. You take a 5-minute assessment, your name, they ask you questions. Do you spend time in front of the screen more than 3 hours a day? They'll ask you questions about your eating, about your behavior, your exercise. So it's about a 5-minute assessment. Take your time with it. Really take your time with it and think through it. There's no right or wrong, but do take your time. Try not to rush through it. It takes about 5 minutes. Step 2, you'll receive your personalized plan in just a few seconds. So you'll see on this first phone screenshot here, the person that took this assessment is named Claire, and she has an essentials option here. And you see in that little packet, the items that were recommended for her. And then you look at that second screenshot of the phone, you see the Vitalea Gold written there and Omega Guard. And underneath each one, you see why, and you see those texts. So those are those 10 million texts I was telling you about. those 10 million texts that I was telling you about, explains the why, and the why for you, not the why for me when I took it, but the why Vitalia Gold or Omega Guard was recommended for you. And then step 3, you choose your plan, Essentials or Essentials Plus. And I'll just back up on the screen here. You see on that first shot of the phone, you see Essentials, it's highlighted in white, and then Essentials Plus. So you got to toggle that. There's a little toggle switch here, and you click on Essentials or Essentials Plus. So in this case here, Jeff can do the one on the left, the Essentials program, and that's really what you really should be taking, the bare bones minimum. And the Essentials Plus on the right has more products in there to help you reach your optimal health, because you are asked questions about your goals and your specific needs and desires for your health. So that would be the Essentials Plus. So what do you get when you order it? This is the best part. And when I get the camera again, I'll show you what it looks like, because I ordered it for myself. So gone are the days of a bunch of bottles, pulling out your reading glasses like I have to, and then read again. Oh, do I take 3 of these? Do I take 2 of these? Or gone are the days of putting this in a Monday through Friday organization method to take your supplements. You get a beautiful box. It's 100% recyclable. And you'll see on that left-hand side, the Meology guide. It's actually a customized guide. It has your name. It has a picture of each of the supplements in your kit and the why you're taking that. So you know why you're taking it. You'll also get that green box that says me. You get little packets, and then you just kind of pull them out. Has your name, tells you what you're taking. Carry it with you. If you're not taking it first thing in the morning, take it at lunchtime. So it's very neatly packaged. So from an aesthetic perspective, it's wonderful versus the bottles on the counter. And then you also get this little supplement fact sheet. So you know exactly what you're getting every day. Not only do you know that, but you can show your doctor, because as we know, doctors invariably ask, you know, what kinds of supplements are we taking? So it's a very easy reference guide. So in addition to this being a wonderful product, the assessment's free. So please, I encourage you, if you haven't taken it yet, to take your assessment to find your personalized nutrition recommendation, and also discuss it with the person that invited you here to hear about Meology. And I'd like to zoom it back to me. So my cursor disappeared. So let me see if I can stop the share. And I just want to show you, and I just had additional comment. All right, stop share. All right, so I think you should see me all here. So here's my Meology guide. And so I ordered the Essentials Plus. So when you open up, you'll see everything that's in it and why, relating to me and everything that I had to say. And then you get your little strip. So Essentials and Essentials Plus. I'll just flip it over here. And since this has been launched a couple of weeks ago, I've actually seen a dozen results from different Meology tests that assessments that people have taken through me. Everyone is so, each one has been so different, even people my age. So I've really enjoyed seeing how personal and customized the supplements are, the program is. So that's all I have to say about it. Does anyone have any questions about Meology or how it works?
Well, thank you. That was excellent and well done. Very informative. How do I get to the Meology assessment, or can you help me with that?
Absolutely. So if you're already a Shaklee member, you can log into your Shaklee website and you'll see Take My Myology Assessment up there. And if you don't, the person that invited you here can provide you with the website, or you can go to my website, which pws.shaklee.com/Jennifer Cancio, and I can spell that out more. So some of you were invited today, and there should be a link in your invitation how to do it. Otherwise, just send a quick message to who invited you here.
That's a great question. I think what we can now see, I don't think there are any guests on today.
Okay.
Let's see if is there anyone new here that wants to, let me just take a look here. I think I did check the guest list and everybody is pretty much already on board, so we can open it up for more discussion. I also want to mention before we leave, all of you, Mary Beth, David, Super Schnicky and Susie and Jennifer, thank you for mentioning your new contacts and the work that you've been doing. Oh, and Bill, I'm going to be sending you a gift as a thank you for reaching out to new people. I don't know if I have your address, David. So if you would just email me your address, I have a little gift for all the people who will,
Do that.
they report out that they have new people that they've reached out to. I'm going to be sending a gift. So I want to make sure I have everybody's name: Jennifer, Mary Beth, Susie, Bill, David, and Super Sticky. Okay. Did I miss anybody? All right. I think you did a great job, Jennifer. Would you just share a little bit? I know that you practiced with Tracy Doyen, who's a new first level builder of ours. Can you share how that went yesterday?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
Monday, I think you did it, yeah.
We did it Monday morning, and I really liked what she had to say. I tend to be wordy, and I tend to overload people with information. And so I had felt the need, because I used to be a professor, so I felt the need to explain the tailored approach and the stratified approach. She's like, no. So people are going to start to tune out. You spend the most wording on what you're trying to share and promote. I'm like, okay, let me do it over again. So I backed up, reworded it, and she helped me with the wording. So really one of the biggest things, she's really good with languaging, and she just said, focus the words and the time on what you want to share. So that stratified and tailored part of the presentation, I tried to kind of gloss over it, because who cares? Because that's not what we're promoting, that part. So that was very helpful. What was one of her other comments? I can look here.
I thought you did a great job, though, when explaining and showing the slide and walking me through that slide and what that difference was on the stratified, I think. So it was more of a visual for me versus words.
Got it. And I'm a visual person myself. So yeah, so I'm glad that you thought I certainly toned it down from Monday. So I'm glad that you saw the results
and
of it.
And she's a health coach too. So but she's also been in high sales training company. The other thing that we talked about in another meeting we've had together is when you're doing a presentation, and I think Pam Budner might have brought it up, is have the end result in mind when you're, that's really where you want to focus on, everybody. You want to know your end result. You don't want to remember stories sell, facts tell, and that you want your end result is people to take the Myology assessments so that you can get them on a program to begin to have the gift of Shaklee in their life.
So probably what I should do then, I was thinking, all right, how will I do this differently when I start doing these on a weekly basis? And probably should insert a slide with my website so they can take it on the spot, because this really took about 10 minutes. So I should insert a slide with my website where they can go directly to that on their cell phones, on their whatever, for anyone that would like to take it at the end. So that's one thing that I should have done that I didn't do. So
definitely,
that's what I will add to this PowerPoint now that I've gone through it and played with it a little bit.
Okay, anybody have any other comments? Pam Budner, you said you used it, and do you have any comments to help everybody here on the presentation?
No, I just think, Jennifer had a lot of details in that was nice. And I think the beauty of this presentation is that anyone can do it anytime. Even if you just read the slides straight through and you don't augment it with any kind of background, not to be afraid to do it. And what I did is I said to the two gals that I presented it to earlier this week, I said, could you help me practice? As you know, they knew a little bit about Shaklee, and I said, I'm looking to practice this new presentation, get familiar with it. Plus, I think you might be interested in the content and the topic. And they said, sure, we'd be glad to help. So it's a great way to get over, if you have a little fear of doing it, actually going through it and doing it. If you use that as an intro, I think it gets you over the hump.
Do we know who Alicia Mostoller is? Anybody? She wants to
One of my, she's one of
Okay,
my
she's coming in
acquaintances.
a little bit late.
Yes.
So Sue, you might want to contact her and just say
Okay.
the presentation is over and thank her for, or unless, Scott, did you admit her in?
Yes, I did. So you
Okay,
can
well,
talk to her.
Mhm.
okay. Sue, you want to welcome her then because she's been admitted into the room?
Oh, hi, Alicia. Thanks for coming in. The presentation was from 1:10 to 1:30, but I would be happy to go through that with you individually and welcome you back to another presentation here as well.
Hi, Alicia.
Thank you for coming.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, we were doing lunch, so a little late.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, glad that you got into the Zoom room. We've just been chatting about the Meology pop-up event that was given by a health coach, Jennifer Cancio. And so Super Snicky will certainly be able to assist you with any other questions you might have. So what we're following up with that now is a number of the wellness educators that we have on the call, on the Zoom, that we're just discussing different topics of the presentation. So you're welcome to stay on if you'd like,
Yes.
or you're welcome to leave the room and wait until Sue gives you a call. It's up to you. Okay, Pam, you did do the presentation, the pop-up with who were the two new women?
Debbie Sopkin,
Oh, Debbie, okay.
Debbie Sopkin Bento, and her sister Marjorie.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, they go way back. They were high school friends of ours, right?
Yep. Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions regarding the Meology presentation and information?
I
Yeah,
have something to say.
okay, Jennifer.
Tracy reminded me, it just popped back into my head. She's like, Jen, you don't have to spend all this time convincing them. If they're already interested in listening to the presentation, they're probably going to take the assessment and purchase something from Shackley. So they're already here. We've already filtered. So by them just saying yes and being here for the Meology presentation. So
So
that's
Jennifer,
just
you said you've had a number of people go through the Myology assessment and you've been getting their reports on,
yes.
you know, the nutrients that will be best suited for their individual needs.
Yes.
Do you call them back to say, you know, let me help you? What questions might you have so that, you know, I know a lot of people like Sue Persnicki was saying that the gentleman that did the Myology assessment had other questions that he was concerned about, and she helped him narrow down what was most significant for him.
Yes, so everybody I asked to be a part of, some were customers who aren't using Shackley regularly, so I reached out to them first, people who kind of have come in and out, and another one.
Because we've ended the pop-up meeting, let's just, whoever knows Susana de los Santos, anybody before we end?
Yes. Yeah, no, she's okay. She's
Okay, we can
she's
admit her
active.
into the room. All right.
Yes, she's active.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we can admit the, all right.
So I do recommend that, so everybody was a little confused, actually. They didn't understand Essentials, Essentials Plus, and if you click on Essentials or to click on Essentials Plus, it wasn't obvious to them at the end of the assessment that there were two sets of options. And it wasn't obvious to them that they could toggle out, you know, remove a few of the items. So I made sure I followed up with everybody and let them know.
That's a big point to know about that people don't understand. That's why you have to get back to people to make sure that they understand the process of the Essentials and the Essential Plus. The other thing is, I really feel that the Meology Prove It Challenge is the best option to start everybody on. because it gives them the protein which they need. So they're getting that protein source that's critical, as well as they get a free cleanse package so they can, you know, Dr. Shackley always said, you know, you can't put a gourmet meal on a dirty plate. And the cleanse item that you get people to begin with allows them to clean their plate so that when the gourmet meal comes in, that they have the best use of the nutrients that they'll be getting in. So we have to remember that in terms of us educating people on the best steps to go forward with the program.
Joanne, could I add another piece to that?
Sure.
That if someone starts with a Prove It challenge, their cost is $159, so it's approximately $5 a day. And if they continue, one of the recommendations that I think we can make is that we would like for them to get the most benefit and the best pricing and best value, the best benefits for their purchases. And in ordering $150 a month, as they would continue to repeat order, they will therefore be able to be eligible for the loyalty rewards. So we're setting them up with a standard that they've already met. In other words, that's a guideline. And if we introduce them to the member appointment, then because now they have become members, it will give an opportunity to know that their health is not just what they take in, but their health is impacted by what's around us and what's on us. So they may choose to add some additional products that would give them the best value for their purchases. So they do have access to the loyalty rewards.
Exactly. It's the most beneficial benefit and gift that we have to offer. It takes a little bit more explaining to someone, but we do want to get the best results and the best nutritional plan for people that get started. Because once we say it's not when you get into Shackley, it's when Shackley gets into you and you start feeling all these great energy gifts of being healthy and optimal health that people have stayed with us for over 40 years. So that's really what we want to do it. And Carolyn, you've always said, if you don't have time to do it right, when do you have time to do it over?
Great.
So
Grateful.
It's so true in trying to, but it takes a little bit more explanation. And Lauren, we weren't able to meet yesterday, but I want to meet with you to go through a couple of items that I think I need to help teach in that vein. David, were you going to add anything?
Another suggestion that I've started making to people who have started accumulating their loyalty points is that you don't necessarily want to use those just to cheapen the load the next month for the things that you're already getting, but there are a number of other products that you might find useful, medicine chest products, for example, if they've gone through the member orientation, that you use intermittently as needed rather than on a daily basis, and those won't ever show up in something like Meology. That's just a daily thing. So you might want to use those loyalty points to start building up that medicine chest, or some of the other products that Shackley has that aren't necessarily everyday things.
That's very true. It's when the assessment comes in, because then there's those overriding needs like the triple, immunity complex that Shackley has that's so great. Pam, I got your postcard. Thank you. She did I'm not at my desk, so I can't show it. Do you have your postcard there?
I do.
You want to show it in the screen and what you did?
Yeah.
By the way, Pam, you've been added to my gift list for mentioning your new people to talk to about.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Thanks. Let me go find my postcard. So I like to send out postcards every month, so I just stay on people's radar and I have fun making them. So I went to Vista Print. They had a 50% off sale, and I made this card, which is just an image that it's in the Shackley Share. There's a lot of images there you can use for social sharing. So I just copied the triple defense one. And I
Meet
matched it,
triple defense boost.
triple defense boost, meet it. And on the back, I wrote, I think Sue and Scott might have gotten this too. Drink a toast to extraordinary support for your immune system. Great tasting elderberry-based powder in stick packs. Mix in water, sip and savor, hot or cold. Item code 21388.
Yeah,
And
I'm showing mine. I'm showing mine.
oh, Sue's got it too. Yeah. And on Sue's, I think I said, text me for a free sample. So, you know, I could easily.
No, you said call me.
Oh, call me for a free sample. Right.
Yeah, you know, you can put text me for a free sample. They're good to be another sample form for people, but that's a great postcard.
The thing
So-
about postcards too, there
Yeah.
are some people who do not plug into social media. They're not on, you know, they're not email. It doesn't drive their lives. And I oftentimes will hear from people who I haven't heard from in a while because this postcard just reminds them about Shackley and reminds them about me. So it's just another thing that I do.
And it's a
Say,
brand,
say
branded
also,
product.
Pam, what you're doing also with the postcard, carrying it around.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah, so I carry this around with me. It's like a business card, right?
And
And what
you
am I
have
missing?
taped to it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, see, this is why you have people on your team, because people on your team help you remember things. So I carry this around and I tape this like this.
It's a great idea.
All right, so I can pass it out. And because we're in the time of COVID, I put it in a Ziploc bag. My piano tuner was here tuning my piano the other day. And I asked him, I said, would you like to know a little bit about something that really supports your immune system right now? I have a little sample. He said, sure, I love it. And later on, he said, where can I get it? He emailed me and I sent him the link to my website. He's a retail person.
It's a great,
So,
I
yeah.
got a retail customer too. I went out to lunch with a friend of mine, two friends, and you know, of course, everybody's under such stress, and she has a grandson who's having a lot of stress at college, going for college exams and stuff. And I talked to her about stress relief complex and how my son Billy just raves about it now because he hadn't been taking it. He had it on his shelf and hadn't taken it, but stress level increased and he grabbed the bottle. I'm glad he grabbed stress relief bottle instead of another kind of bottle. And so he said, Mom, this worked instantly. It's fabulous. I will never leave it out of my program again. And so she ordered 2 bottles of stress relief because she herself is going through so much stress. And I sold her retail because, you know, she isn't ready for membership. So I started her there and have to get back to her to see that she's getting the same results that we all get from our beautiful stress relief product. So that's new people. That's so exciting to have them join us in the gift of Shackley. All right, we have a few more minutes. Does anybody want to comment? Questions? Thank you, Mary.
Joanne, I'll volunteer that I've been reaching out, and I've been reaching out to some of my so-called chicken list, people that I've known for a long time that don't really know exactly what we do. I mean, they think they do, but they don't really know.
Mhm.
And 2 different times, I have three other appointments set up for this week. And 2 different times what I've said as I do the presentation is, I want you to know I appreciate you taking the time. And I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous about presenting this. And they go, what do you mean you're nervous? I mean, and I go, no, it has taken me a lot of courage to reach out, but I have a bigger commitment. I have a bigger focus on my commitment to share what it is that I'm doing than I have on being nervous or feeling like, oh, they're going to think such and such because I've known them for so long. And what they end up doing is going, are you silly? I'm so glad that you did this. You know, thank you. You don't have to feel nervous. So what it does is it kind of breaks up what I'm genuinely feeling. is like, no, this isn't easy for me to call up and say, I want, what I've been doing is saying, I'd like to share with you a project that I have, a commitment that I have. Would you be willing to just let me share my project? And then I
Great.
say, I have no, there's no agenda. I'm not asking you to do anything. And the only request that I have is, after we do the presentation, if you'd be willing to reconnect. It may not be right on the same call, but if you'd be willing to reconnect for like 10 minutes and just tell me what you heard, what you saw, if you have any insights, that's my only request. So it's like, I'll ask them for 30 minutes. First time, it's really, I'll say, look, this is really only about 20 minutes, but we may jabber a little. And then my request is, could we reconnect? And sometimes if it's just one person, they'll stay on the line and, you know, then they'll say, sure, I'll continue talking. So it's just a question of the timing. So that's
Yeah.
my experience.
It is getting, again, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, which is the graveyard to your dreams, you know, and I think that many of us, even though we've been, you know, you're what, 50 years in the business, Carolyn?
Getting there, very close.
You know, so, you know, we
Yep.
all, and there's new, Meology is new, the triple defend boost is new. And, excuse me,